What was the purpose of your D.C. visit yesterday?
I went out to support the president. He asked us to come, and that's why I decided to go.
You're a business owner in Minden. You're passionate, obviously, about the president. Do you, in your mind, do you think you crossed the line at all during this? We know some did, obviously, right?
Oh, yeah, I absolutely not. And I saw no one cross the line. I was there from 8 in the morning until 4 p.m. and was, had hundreds of thousands of people around me. The few times that someone did do something, approaching, crossing the line, climbing up on a statue, there was Trump supporters there to encourage them to get down and to act respectfully and to obey the law. That's what I saw.
One of the criticisms of that have come out of yesterday is that the D.C. police, the Capitol Police, whoever it happened to have been, were undermanned. Did you sense that as things got a bit more tense, or as you just said, when somebody climbed up on a statue, etc.? Was police presence? Was there a big police presence yesterday?
There was, and there was tons of police. I mean, all along the street, everywhere you looked, there was police cars and police. They were D.C. police. Then when we got to the Capitol, we walked around went all the way around the outside of the Capitol, and there was police lining the Capitol. I think we just missed, some of the confrontations, but I never saw any. I did see people washing their eyes out.
So how did
I thought there was adequate police.
You said a second ago you didn't see anyone do anything that would be unlawful. How did or did you? At what point did you hear about that some protesters had broken into the Capitol building, the House chamber, etc.? How did you hear about it? What time of day was that?
Yeah, so we were pretty much unaware most of the day. We didn't have access to internet. None of it was working. I guess there was too many people. And at one point, when we got to the back side of the Capitol building, I called my dad to see if he had any news on what was going on in Congress, and he said that there were some people in there, and at that point they were not. They were just walking around peacefully inside, and then it wasn't until probably 4 o'clock that we got to a restaurant, sat down, and my phone started working, and I saw that on in the news. But I was completely unaware. I think most of the people there were unaware that there was any of that going on. The police were not on megaphones telling people to back. I mean, there was no indication from me that there was anything like that going on. I didn't see. I saw people, climbing up that wall. You probably saw those pictures, but that balcony was open. You could get there by stairs. I'm not sure why they climbed that wall, unless they were just impatient. But there was no indication from me.
As the day progressed, as things were happening, as things were getting a little violent, a lot of violent as the day went on, but you didn't know it. Did any of your family or friends call you to say, are you okay? Where are you? We're watching the news and things are getting pretty damn hairy.
Yeah, I did have, they did try, but as I said, I couldn't get text messages. I wasn't getting emails. I couldn't get on Facebook or Twitter. So they did. There were people reaching out, but I never, except for the one time I called my father, I never spoke to anyone. So
Cole,
I was unaware.
Let me ask you this from our message board. Why are y'all reporting that those people were pro-Trumpers? They are literally photos showing that they are Antifa members. When have you ever seen conservatives act like that? Are you an Antifa member? Or Antifa, however you say it?
No, ma'am.
Of that crowd, did you hear any of those folks, the Antifa members, or were the vast majority of them pro-Trumpers?
Did there seem to be any, as many on the right have said, did there seem to be any infiltration or plants by radical leftists?
Yes, I did see that, from my opinion, and it's speculation because I didn't ask to see their Antifa card, but There were people, and at 8:30 in the morning, a guy climbed over a barrier and refused to leave and was causing trouble. And he just, we were all telling him, man, what are you doing? Get back over the barrier, stand in line like the rest of us. And he was, I don't know what his purpose was, but he just was stubbornly just where he was not supposed to be. Later on, as we're going through the crowd, there was a number of people that I saw that just didn't look right, that just didn't have the same expression on their face. They just didn't have the same posture and demeanor. And later on, I saw one of them with a Biden hat on, which seemed to me to confirm my suspicion about him. But I can't say for sure that there was, I didn't see any Antifa. But I did see people with helmets and riot gear and gas masks that looked exactly like the ones I saw on Antifa Black Lives Matter. Could have been Trump people. I don't know.
Number of lawmakers, even Republican lawmakers, have been critical of the president's speech yesterday that let's say he might have chosen his words better. Did you hear the president's speech? Did you hear the president? Did anything the president said to you yesterday seem inciting or I don't want to say insightful. That's different. Inciting that would have motivated people to violence?
And I didn't. I was actually kind of disappointed, underwhelmed. I was hoping that it would be, honestly, more hype. It was boring to me. He went through a bunch of evidence that we had already heard before. And, it was nothing. It was a normal Trump
in your mind, pardon me, there was nothing incendiary said by the president.
I did not hear anything that I thought was, I love him, so maybe I have rose-colored glasses, but I didn't think so. No.
Okay, Cole, do you pick up your ball and go home and accept the fact that Joe Biden's going to be president? Is this over for you and you get back to regular life, or you're going to be still protesting?
No, I'm headed home. I'm in the airport, about to board a plane, go home for my kids. But I'm not giving up because I believe the election was stolen, and I think that's obvious to anyone that wants to look at it. And Donald Trump took an oath of office to protect the Constitution from enemies, foreign and domestic, and I expect him to make this right in whatever means that he has to do lawfully. The Constitution provides for this. Unfortunately, our founders expected this to happen at some point, and I expect my president to have our back and to make sure that our republic is preserved. Will
you ever accept Joe Biden as president?
That's a hard question. I have to see what happens. I would say no. Honestly, no. I'm not. I think it's illegitimate. I can't say exactly what I would do and not do, but I am a patriot, and I have studied history and civics, and I know what the Constitution has provided and allowed for. We do have a Second Amendment right, and that is there not for hunting or for protection, but to protect us against tyrannical leaders. And unfortunately, if it came down to it, and what I've seen, if this election stands the way that it is now, I'm not sure that we'll have any more free elections, and that is unacceptable.